welcome to Take Another Look, our current affairs program that brings you news and information that you can use. We've been on a bit of a hiatus this year due to the coronavirus pandemic, but we are back. We're practicing social distancing in the studio, which is a little bit different than the norm, but we're happy to bring you new programming starting this fall. Today we have a special guest with us, the Superintendent of School District 205, Dr. Cunningham, and we are going to discuss all the ins and outs of the new enhanced e-learning program, its impact on parents, students, and what the administrative staff is doing to keep the school year rolling. So, good morning, Dr. Cunningham.
Ma'am.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So as we know, coronavirus has taken the world by storm, the nation by storm, our city by storm. So with 205, of course, this year, you launched the Enhanced Learning Program with the reopening plan. In terms of the initiation of the program, what were the top priorities that you and your administrative staff kept in mind?
Actually, it was only one major priority, and that was safety.
Okay.
It was safety of our students, safety of our staff, and safety of our community. And when we took a good, deep look at how these things work, we had to find a way that we could safely educate and have our people working. That was our number one priority.
So with regard to safety, because of course, you know, here in Village Hall, there's so many procedures that we had to put in place, from the mask, the social distancing, and just so many other protocols. Was there any specific training that you had to go through or staff?
Actually, it was our staff going over the requirements from the Illinois Department of Public Health, from the Center for Disease Control, CDC, IDPH, the Cook County Department of Health. We had paper emails and guidance coming at us from the time we started talking about coming back to school, which was early June, until about the week before we started. There was lots of different guidances that was coming at us. And, you know, we spent time not only looking at that, but talking to our community and connecting with our lawyers to make sure everything that we were doing was for the safety and the sustainment of the district and the education of our students.
Okay, and I saw that there were some surveys that you all were doing in the community. Tell us a little bit about those.
Well, we had a whole process that we wanted to do for planning how we were going to come back to school, and safety was first. We had to be able to safely educate our students. And what we did was we started with committees at each one of the schools. We had a committee at Thornridge, Dolton, and Thornwood. And the committee was made up of parents and educators and community members, and of course, Mayor Riley served at Thornridge, and we had service from the other two communities also. And what we wanted to do was find out information for them, concerns that they had, so that we could react to those as we set up our plans. And then, of course, we looked at the data. There was a lot of data that was out there. There was the positivity rate. There was the positivity rate by community, by county. And we wanted to make sure that if we were to come back, that we could come back safely. And then we had a survey that went out to parents, teachers, and, of course, our staff members. And when you took a look at the information that our parents provided, 2 out of every 3 parents did not want to return their children to school. And many of them said in the survey, I don't care what you do, my student is not coming back to school. It's just not safe. And 3 and 4 staff members said that they weren't comfortable coming back to school. Now with the students, it was even.
They
it
probably
was a
wanted to come back to school.
Half of them wanted to come back, half of them didn't. But when we took a good deep look at the students who wanted to come back, most of them wanted to come back so that they could participate in homecoming, so that they could go to their football games this fall, so that they didn't want to have a graduation where they weren't allowed to walk. They were talking about moving back to pre-COVID status. And when we took a good look at that, we couldn't provide that. That wasn't just possible at this time. So the safe route, the smart route, the concern route was to move us towards having remote learning. And with that remote learning, we wanted to do all we could to learn from what we had been through. When we started this in March, the Friday before the Tuesday that had us out, the governor came on. And as the governor came on, my cabinet, our assistant superintendents and our executive directors and myself were all huddled around the TV watching exactly what was going on, taking notes. And we met from that time and until we had a full plan of what we were going to do moving on. And then we came back to that plan, talking about things that worked and things that didn't work to get us started with our school year. When we took a look at our year and once we got started, one of the things that we found was students sitting in front of the computer all day just didn't work. The students disconnected, the teachers were having trouble connecting with them after they disconnected. What could we do to ensure that everyone was connected? Well, we met with our teachers and our other staff members, and we came up with a plan, which we call the remote learning plan. And it took into account the things that we learned from the spring, and we brought them into a new schedule for the fall. Our fall schedule, we do half our classes in the morning, and then we have time for connections for social-emotional learning, for connections with our students, because our students still need to be connected with their teachers and their staff members. That's a part of the socialized learning that we've all learned from. We couldn't provide the face-to-face, in-person learning that we would want to, but we were going to provide the best opportunity that we could for each and every student. So this plan, along with the teachers, along with the staff, we took that to the school board. The school board wanted us to make sure we had the community involved. So we had a conversation with our community, and we spent time listening to their concerns and their issues so that we could move forward this fall with an educational program that met the needs of our students. And there are many challenges that go along with that.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah.
When you take a look at it, we wanted to make sure that we were connected with everybody else. We talked to District 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, and all of the high school districts around us to try to come up with different things that fit for all of us. We wanted to make sure that we weren't out on an island by ourselves, ensuring that our students were ready to go. And what we found is everybody was moving towards remote learning. The challenge was to make sure remote learning fit the needs of the students. And for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have those classes in the morning, and the afternoon is social-emotional content. And for that Friday, we have a full day of time to get one-on-one time with our teachers and our counselors to ensure that students who are falling behind or who are having difficulty can get caught up on that Friday.
And that's really good that you touched on those things, especially with safety being most important, knowing that it's a priority for the school, administration, and also parents. And I know that, we all were in high school before, and the element of socializing and being present with friends, that is, I'm sure, a challenge for most students. But I'm really curious about how things have been going so far. So, of course, I know we're really early in. School just started back in August. From what you've seen, do you feel that it's been a smooth transition? Have there been challenges, or what have you seen thus far since school started back?
Well, we've had a fairly smooth transition.
Oh, that's good.
Fairly smooth transition. Everyone understands the schedule, where they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to get there. We are still out there ensuring that our students are getting to class. One of the wonderful things that our school board did in May was that we ordered 4,500 additional Chromebooks for our district to ensure that every student in the district could have a Chromebook. All of our teachers would have a Chromebook, so we'd have one platform, because that was some of the other challenges that we were having. Some kids were using, definitely. Some of the kids were using their phones, some laptops. It was kind of all over the place. And having one platform available for everybody has made it more systemic. So we have a system available. And then every teacher is having a classroom where they are connected with their students online. So they have an opportunity to see them face to face every day. We're taking attendance. And then each one of the schools has an attendance process that they're going through, chasing down all of those students who didn't have to make it to class. It's a lot different than chasing them down physically, but I know that there have been doors knocked on in Dolton by our new principal, Dr. Justin Moore, and his staff. They've gone out in the community, safely social distance,
right, of course,
masked up, but they want our children, our students, to know that they're important to us and their education is important to us. So if you're not there, we're looking for you. So those things have been challenges. And for us also, we normally have the process of actually having registration in person. And we didn't have an opportunity to really have in-person registration this year. Everyone was registering online. Our curriculum department did a very good job of setting up online registration, but not everybody was familiar. So we spent a lot of time familiarizing parents, calling parents and chasing down parents to make sure that we got all of our students. We are somewhere near about 97% enrolled at this time, I think it was.
Okay.
The challenge of that is a lot of times until after Labor Day, there are several students who are not there. So we're out chasing them all still. So those are some of the challenges. Some of the good things that are coming from us, are coming from this, is the ability of our students to use technology for education. Now, we all know that they're out there with their technology and they've been doing it, whether it's been their video games, their social media, or just social connections. They have done a wonderful job with technology there. Now we're teaching them how to use it for their own education. And that will help them as they move along in the rest of their lives.
That's good insight. I know even myself, when I went to college, there's a lot of virtual learning, a lot of the e-learning on class, even when you are in a lecture hall. And it is a good way, as you mentioned, to help prepare them for, secondary education or what they do after high school. With regard to students who have special needs or special education, have you noticed there's been any challenges with making accommodations, or how has that played out?
There are always challenges, but one of the things that this has done is it's made us connect and communicate better and more often. We have had challenges in the past of getting our students into their individual education programs by there's no connection with the parent. We missed this, we missed that. But because of this, about 95 to 98% of our IEPs are complete.
Good.
And we are connecting with those parents. We have the ability right now with our courses to have what we have called co-taught courses. So we have 2 teachers in classrooms. And then many of those co-taught classrooms, they also have paraprofessionals for individuals. So we're doing our best to meet the needs of those individual special education students every day. Now, we do have some challenges for some students who an IEP, the paraprofessional, and the co-taught classes don't meet the needs of those students, but we have other opportunities for those, and we've found those in our communities and outside the community, and made sure that they're getting the things that they need to. These challenges are going to continue to come at us. We do not know when pre-COVID becomes post-COVID. We just don't know. So we have to be prepared to educate these students and to ensure that they're getting the learning that they need moving forward. And that's what we're after.
That's good. And in terms of, what parents can do to help support their children at home during this time, because it's unprecedented, it's much different than the normal high school experience. Are there any things that you've recommended or you've suggested ways that parents can just support their students this year specifically?
Get involved. I'm a father of 2, and both of my students are out of the house now. Children are out of the house now. One is grown up with his own, and the other is a sophomore in college now. And when they hit 14 years old, they start putting up these barriers that say, no, I need just a separation.
We've all been there.
Yes.
We've all been there.
But our parents need to stay involved. Their children still need their support. Their children still need them reading about school. They need to ask them questions about what they did in school today and ensure that they are connecting. We have the ability to meet the needs of the students, but we don't know every student the way that we'd like to. But every parent knows their kid. And if they can help us kind of talk about it as a 3-legged stool, the student, the school, and the parent. If we're working together, we can support that student for his success or her success. But they know that student better than anybody else to let us know if there are different supports that we need to be providing, whether that's additional classes, some help from counselors. We have social workers there. We have everything that they need, but we need to know and need as much assistance as possible, and we know that parents can give it to us. And we're very happy with the number of parents that continue to reach out to us during these challenging times. We just need it to continue.
Yeah, I know we've even updated our website to add a link for the school districts and links to the reopening plan, because in the beginning, of course, there's so many questions, and parents and students and everyone just had a lot of curiosity about what lied ahead.
Well, when we were talking about the needs, we had a town hall. That was what I was describing from the community. In that town hall meeting, we answered questions, and any questions we couldn't answer, we put up on our website for an answer too. We wanted to make sure that our community was involved. Our parents could ask us any questions that they wanted to, so that they were ready for this. And I don't say that we like it, but we are prepared.
Right, and making the adjustments.
Yes.
In terms of, of course, when students come to school, there's the curriculum, the social element you mentioned, and also the activity, the physical component, whether it be sports or just a physical activity. Is there anything, I know in a virtual setting, clearly you can't play basketball over the internet, but I'm just wondering what, from just a health and wellness standpoint.
Well, with the health and wellness standpoint, one of the things that we did was we actually have non-contact sports that are actually going. They have cross country and they have swimming. There are several sports that we have going with the IHSA. And of course, we're following the guidelines of the IHSA to keep our students safe. They are working on a plan for the winter sports, which include basketball, wrestling, girls basketball, all of the things that we've done normally. Those are very challenging times. We are allowing our students to come up to school and to work out outside with their coaches during these non-contact days. So we're following all of the guidelines for the state. But we also have activities that are going on. Now they're virtual.
We're not tell me about those.
Well, you have virtual bands, you have all of the virtual clubs that we've normally had there, and even some of the work on speech and things of that nature. We wanted to make sure that we had virtual clubs at each one of our schools, so we've made that available also. So not only can you go through school through your day from 8 to 3, but there is time after school that they have virtual activities available. We want to do all we can to make sure that they're connected.
To make everything as robust as possible.
As much as possible in these times.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Cunningham, for coming today. Thank you for taking the time just to answer questions, to share information about the preparatory stages, how things are going right now, and what we can look forward to until things change with the pandemic. And we definitely want to have you back at some point later throughout the year to give us
anytime.
More
we're
updates.
Happy to come by, and we're happy to connect. It's important to us. School is a major part of your community. It just is. And we're here to ensure that our kids are 100% enrolled, enlisted, or employed by the time that they're graduating. That is our job, because as we love our children, we do want to make sure that they get out into the world as soon as possible and that they are successful when they do that. One of the things that I would like to say is, if you have any questions or concerns or just want information, please go to our website. We've spruced it up, and we want to make sure that questions and answers are available to the community at all times.
Thank you. And we also, too, on our Village of Dolton website, we did add a link earlier this year with all the school districts. So if you're on the Village of Dolton website, you can click the District 205 link, and it will take you directly to their website for those questions. If you send any questions directly to us, we will forward them to Dr. Cunningham so you can get the answers that you need. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be sure to continue to bring you great programming on Take Another Look.